to release because it takes about 24 hours to 48 hours for rigor mortis, the hardening of the meat. When things die, they get hard. So you leave it longer, it gets soft. They wait for it to get soft, then they freeze it quickly because they don't want it to dry. When they freeze it, it goes from whatever temperature to 0, like that, because they need it immediate freezing. Then they can keep it for 6 months. In Indonesia, anybody from Indonesia here? Some of the meat that you see in the market comes out after 6 months of being in the freezer somewhere. Why? Because the army, they will keep a lot of this as reserve just in case a war go on. Many countries do that, right? When it's not used by a certain time frame, it's brought out, a new group goes in for another 6 months, right? This goes in the market as cheap meat, full of toxins that have been there for 6 months to a year. Right? That's why the Kangen water, we say, when you soak your meat in it, what happens? Osmosis happens, right? Water will go in, blood will come out. You remove these toxins at the same time. I recommend people to soak their meat in Kangen water, take it out from the freezer, don't wait for it to thaw. Straight into Kangen water, 11.5. We will thaw and do this at the same time, within 25 minutes and 30 minutes, okay? 11.5. Not good enough. 11.5.
How long is it?
20-25 minutes. Then you pick it up, your meat is soft, it's thawed out, the water is all bloody, your meat is now pale. It's actually good. So you read in the book, page 15, page 17, it's there. Right? Protein causes allergic reactions. In many of us, it happens as allergic reactions. It's just that we're so used to it now, we ignore the fact. Right? So in this book, it talks about it also. I'm not an expert here, so I won't go too much into that. Excess protein stress your liver and your kidneys. I didn't know that either. Excess protein. So everything is protein that you eat. I'm a big meat eater. I don't really like vegetables when I was growing up. I love meat. I can eat tons and tons of meat with my carbohydrate. Okay? It stresses your liver and your kidney. So when you put too much stress on these two organs, besides all the toxins you breathe around, it also stresses your liver and your kidneys. These are the two organs that work as hard as your heart and your lungs. Okay? People think the heart and the lungs are the two organs that are work the most. No, these are the two that works together with them. Right? Excessive protein intake causes calcium deficiency and osteoporosis. I don't know how to explain this. You have to read it. It kind of makes sense. When you take too much protein, this is heightened. Your risk of osteoporosis is higher. Okay? Excessive protein can result in lack of energy. This part here really blew me out of the world, right? Because you look at all the carnivorous animals. They eat all meat only, but they eat other animals, right? They don't eat grass, they don't eat greens. But you see, they get tired very easily. Their energy bursts, then they have to slow down. They're walking whole day. They can run 2-3 times a day, that's it. So, if you see a lot of these athletes in the world, they have to cut down on their meat, go on a more fiber diet, they call it, and then they have to take a lot of supplements which come from plants in order to build that stamina and energy. That's what it means, okay? Protein, excessive protein may contribute to ADHD in children. Now that, I don't know how, it can't be proven yet, but he says he believes that it may be a contribution to ADHD in children especially. So children at a young age, try and not put them on protein too much. Put them more on vegetables and carbohydrates. Right, but make them chew. There's another portion here, he says, I don't know, it could be a later part. He says when you're healing, people tend to eat porridge. He says porridge is the worst thing for you when you're healing. We'll come to that in a while. Okay?
Sorry, there's so much talk about excessive protein. Again, what you're saying is that excessive protein varies from one body to another.
Yes.
So we don't really know.
Yes. He's showing you symptoms in your body that may give you a clue to why you're feeling that way. Right? He's saying that if you reduce protein in terms of red meat and so on, you reduce milk, which is high in protein, apparently, right? And you reduce yogurt, that is also high in protein because it's a milk product, dairy products. He's saying dairy products give you a lot of protein. The American society drink the largest amount of milk per household, right? They have at least 8 gallons of milk in the fridge at any one time, a large family, right? Because milk is $1.50 US for a gallon. That's 4 liters. Over here, you go and buy milk 1 liter, you say, I cannot afford it. It's too expensive. Right? In the US, milk is so cheap. If it's so cheap, there can only be one problem. They are producing it at a very low cost. Which means that you do not know if it's good quality. But Americans drink it. Why? Because they say, it's protein. Gives me calcium. Gives me all the nutrients that I need. But Dr. Shinya says, just by looking at your colon, he can tell you whether you are a dairy person or not a dairy person. Because he says those who are taking a lot of dairy products, typically their colon is very dirty, very bad, in a very bad state of health. He says if you cut that out, cut it out totally, dairy products. He says cut it out, he didn't say reduce it, okay? And you reduce protein from other places, but increase your fiber diet and your vegetables. He believes that your enzymes will survive longer, your source enzyme will survive longer because you're not using them excessively. You're using enzymes from outside to supplement you, to do the job that your source enzyme typically is used to do. Okay?
Okay, a lot of people think that the milk gives you calcium. Not exactly true. The cow eats the grass. The grass has the calcium. That's why the milk has the calcium. So if you really want a much more refined source of calcium, look for I think quinoa, amaranth, all these unrefined grains, the small little ones, they have a lot of calcium.
Yeah, that's so that the body can synthesize. Now the other thing that he talks about in the dairy portion also is that he says children, when we are born, we have the enzyme to break down milk. That's why we drink milk, right? But after a certain time, we should stop drinking milk. Look at the animals in the animal kingdom today. When they are born, they drink milk. Once they reach a certain age, the mother don't let them drink milk anymore. Get away from me. Go eat your food, right? You don't give them milk anymore. You don't produce milk from other animals to give the animal, no, right? Our body, over time, we lose the enzyme that breaks down milk. When you try and consume too much of it and you cannot break down, what happens? Your body does something with it. It puts it in your intestines. The intestine is a breeding ground for all types of bacteria, good and bad. Right? Because if you eat bad things, bad bacteria lives there. If you eat good things, good bacteria live there. If you kill all the bacteria in your intestines, you're killing the good and the bad. They breathe together. How you balance that, okay? That's very important. The more antacids you take, the worse your stomach will be. Because of that, he says, it's because all drugs, he didn't say some, he says all drugs are alien to the body because they are poisonous items. All drugs, okay? Heartburn is your body's warning. Pay attention, it's your body telling you, hey, you've got heartburn here, why? Because there's too much of these antacids. Some people are allergic to this. You put it in them, they die. My girlfriend died with one of that. Ansid. Well, NSAID comes from antacid actually. Yeah. Okay. These are things that are bad for you. Okay, they are very acidic. They are very potent in our body. But sometimes we want to solve a problem. We take a tablet. It doesn't solve the root cause. It solves the symptom only. Okay.
Acid reflux is counted as antacid, right?
Exactly. So he's saying there's another way to solve it. You know, I have acid reflux. But when I started drinking Kangen water, no more such thing. On the days when I don't drink enough, in the evenings you will know, oh shit, I'm feeling it, better drink 2 glasses of water. And when I say drink 2 glasses of water, again, how do I drink it? Slowly. Not take 2 glasses and there's competition. No, it doesn't work as well. You sip it slowly, you find here, you're leaving. The pain is so bad, it's like somebody took their fist and shoved it down my throat. And you got stuck there. So pain, you know. He believes heartburn is your body's warning that you don't have enough water, right? You have too much acid build-up in your body, and you have a certain level here that's supposed to stop that gastric from coming back up. It's weak. Why is weak? Because pressure inside there is growing. You do not know how much pressure is in our stomach now. Do you know how much pressure it takes to squeeze your stomach and mash food? Even the grip in your hand cannot do that, right? Your stomach is doing 10 times of that to squash food and mash it. The amount of pressure there is very high. It's just to us, it's like normal, right? He's saying that these are the things that contribute to that function going on the opposite side, malfunction. Okay. Why anti-cancer drugs do not cure cancer? He writes that there again, right? And it's followed together by the other book, Killing Cancer, Not People. I think the book should be named Killing People and Not Cancer, because when I read that, it shows that how you kill people, taking all this weird stuff. He's saying why anti-cancer drugs is used? Because anti-cancer drugs kill the good and the bad in the body. Once the good and the bad dies, guess what? Your cells are already having bad stuff living in it. The good things that's fighting it also dies. You just lost your first line of defense. That's why the other book also says, if he knew about this, when his parents were having cancer, he wouldn't have put them into chemotherapy for medicine, because it killed them faster. Okay? Why there is no relapse of cancer from people following the enzyme factor diet and lifestyle? That's where he states very clearly, if you follow that diet and lifestyle, which is not easy, I must say, it's not easy, there will be no relapse of cancer from people who follow that. Now, for you to put in a book like that, somebody gets a relapse, can become very rich, okay? And then he talked about the limited value of drugs. He's not saying that drugs is no use. He says there's a limited value when you use it at the right point. So this page here, you should read, because there's a lot of things we thought was right for us. But this guy is 70 plus years, just like Mr. Oshiro is 70 plus years old. He lives a life that if I live, I think I say I don't want to live, right? In his book, he will talk about it later. Directly common sense can be hazardous to your body. This is where he talks about porridge. People who have fever, what happens? They lie down in bed. What does mother do? Boil porridge for them. Now, when porridge is eaten, you don't give it to them hot. You give it to them warm. Because it's warm, they won't chew. Whoever chews porridge? Nobody chews porridge, right? Just go in your mouth, swallow. How is there enough time for your amylase enzyme to combine with the choke in your mouth, the porridge in your mouth, and break it down before it goes in? Zero time. So he says you should be eating rice instead, because you chew rice at least 5 times. He says you should chew 75 times. I say, well, if I do that, I'll fall asleep on the table, right? But I try and chew 20 times, and the time also I'm like, wow, too much, I must swallow, because that's exactly what he's saying. You are supposed to eat that way so that there's enough time for the food to go down into your tummy. You know how long is your esophagus or not? Before it reaches, it takes 3 hours, 2 to 3 hours for the food to go through to get into the stomach and into your intestines. 3 to 4 hours it takes for that time, right? You swallow a whole truckload of food before the first can reach the stomach, right? Then we overeat. That's how we overeat. Trust me, I'm 1% that. Before you can finish your first bowl of rice, I'm my 4:30. Then I sit down and go, actually at 2 I better stop. Seriously, I'm telling you from my own personal experience. For me to lose weight, very easy. I just eat 1 bowl of rice at every meal. I will lose 4 to 6 kilos like that. Okay, so he's saying dietary common sense says that you need to chew your food properly. We were taught that at primary school. We never listened to that. Okay, if you were to take 1 apple and you chew slowly and read a book, by the time you finish, you say, no, I'm not hungry anymore. Because sugar has gotten into your blood, which has sent a signal to your brain saying, that's sugar. Sugar levels are balanced. Right? So if you were to believe some of this and follow some of this, I'm not saying follow all of it, you will see a change in you. Okay? I know, I'm walking through, my mom said my tummy has gone down. For my mom to say that means, wow, it's already an improvement. Milk causes inflammation, diabetes and osteoporosis. It's actually proven in many documentation around the world that today milk causes that. Why? Because many of this milk produced are already tainted. Why? The poor animal has been over there for a year and every day they milk the cow until it got pus and all that in the udder and all that. Have you read newspapers on that? Articles? Go Google it. They'll show you pictures of these animals where they are just standing there in their stalls being milked day in, day out. To a point that the milk that's being produced is so low quality, even the cows, the baby cows shouldn't drink it, and we are drinking it. Okay? And then the yogurt milk is on page 45. Just now I covered that already. Then the enzyme diet factor. Okay? Eat food that contains plenty of enzymes. Okay? And make sure the enzyme is still alive. I would add that. Right? Because vegetables has a lot of enzymes. For that reason, some of them taste bitter. Some of them, right? What do? We cook it until the bitterness is gone. It comes out totally dead. Enzymes are dead. No point. Don't eat that. Right? I think I mentioned a lot of times, Vietnamese, the Thai, the Burmese, you look at them, they live to a long age. The Japanese, right? They eat a lot of raw food. Even their sushi is raw food. Right? So imagine the enzymes are still alive in the food. That's what you need in your body. Your body will become oxidized if you continue eating oxidized food. Processed food are oxidized food. There's no antioxidant in them anymore. Putting kangen into it helps make it antioxidant. So this is what I teach people. When you make your soup, you boil your soup with kangen water, right? Guess what? Boiling it kills everything. You may have the alkalinity in that, but there's no antioxidants in it. So what you do? You serve the bowl of soup. Before they drink, 1 tablespoon of 11.5 in. Reset it, put the antioxidant in it. You're putting back the antioxidant into the oxidized soup. Trust me, in teh tarik, makes the teh tarik taste better. It doesn't taste so acidic, it tastes lighter. Coffee, anything. Try.
Also 11.5.
11.5 is best because then
For
1
coffee.
tablespoon, but sometimes it's very hard to carry 11.5 everywhere. So 9.5, fresh 9.5 is good.
Without enhancer, the 11.5.
Well, that's how they say it, but actually I never took out the enhancer. Just 1 tablespoon is good. Because there are some books in the US, they say, Peggy Parker, right, says before your meal, about 45 minutes before your meal or something, drink a little bit of 11.5. And she would have been more thorough than me to say, please take out the enhancer, right? She didn't say that. Okay? So I'm just telling you what I hear from others. I have tried it. I'm still standing, still alive. Okay? There is no fat worse for your body than margarine. When I was growing up, this one really blew my mind away. Because Malaysia, we are the largest producer of palm oil. And palm oil is used in margarine. And they say because of the palm oil being a better type of oil and fat, making margarine, therefore margarine is better to eat. But margarine is just one molecule, one chemical molecule away from plastic. So you take margarine and you add that one molecule, I forget what molecule it is, we have to write up. You add that one molecule, it becomes plastic. The chemical build-up of plastic is just one molecule more than margarine. So he's saying there's no fat worse for your body than margarine. Please go read it up, okay? He'll explain it in there. Okay? So I'm giving you a good review of the book. Now you're going to go, wow, I better go back and read this, man. My God, there's so many good things in here, right? You must occasionally eat fried food. If you must, occasionally only eat fried food. So even in his Japanese diet, he doesn't take tempura. This doctor doesn't take tempura because he says the vegetables in it is all deep fried, overcooked. Outside crispy, inside soft. The vegetable is soft, a little bit, it will die already. Okay? So he says only if you must, then you eat. What is the best way to take in essential fatty acids? Please read it up. It goes into a lengthy 1 page to talk about that. 1 page to talk about why this is important. Because essential fatty acids are different type of fat acids that you need in your body for different functions. Milk sold in stores are oxidized fat. And milk that's sold in stores, they have already been there for a long time. We don't know how long. It could be a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks since it's been processed fresh. Right? And then they keep in the store again before the expiry date. Milk typically expires within 14 to 21 days. It could be already its maximum when it reaches you. Cow's milk is primarily for cows, not human beings. You say if human beings want to drink milk, drink human milk. Very tough. Okay? Because he says the build-up of cow's milk is to help the calf grow from this size to this size in 3 months. And from this size to this size in 6 months. Our body cannot grow that fast. So when you take this milk, it has all the necessary to build you up. When you grow too fast and your bones don't build as fast, what happens? Brittle bones. Osteoporosis won't happen then. It's just that it's not dense enough. But as you get older and it doesn't hold, osteoporosis is what it's called. Okay? When you're young, they don't say osteoporosis, they say brittle bones. You have to take more calcium. Osteoporosis is when your body starts losing calcium. Okay? Way too much animal protein is toxic in face. Imagine this is very large. Animal protein, that means any type of meat that is protein in this manner. And this is where he says why it's bad. Because chicken, he says chicken is one of the worst for us also. Why? If you take the temperature, body temperature of a live chicken, it's hotter than the body of a human being. It's higher. That means their protein will last higher temperatures, will survive higher temperatures before it can break down. Right? So when we eat chicken meat, our body heat in the stomach, even it's higher than our outside, it's nowhere close to the chicken's body temperature. So it means that our body, we cannot break down protein that comes from chicken. When I read that again, I'm like, wow. Scratch my head, you know. I mean, a lot of this I don't know because I'm just an IT guy, right? So as I'm saying, I'm just telling you what I read, and it made a lot of sense to me. Okay.
So take fish.
Why fat in fish does not block human arteries? You should read that. That's why he says if you have to eat fish, eat smaller fishes, not the big ones that swim deep in the ocean. Why? The deeper they go, more mercury build up in the blood, in their meat. Okay, the smaller the fish, the better it is.
It can't be lazy.
Okay, those deep fishes like tuna and all that, they are very red, right? They say red meat. Red meat is actually because of mercury. Yeah, so when I read that, I'm like, wow, this is again another thing, you know, like I say lah, reading it, I had to read it 3 times. I read that book 3 times. Today I just scanned through another, so technically I went through the book 4 times, right? The key to eating red meat fish is eating when it's fresh. Do not keep it overnight, eat it fresh. Catch the fish and bite it. No, because mercury is in there. You leave it too long, what happens? Mercury oxidization. It's poisonous. Okay? I do not know how long is fresh and how long is not fresh. Ask a Japanese sushi chef, they'll tell you. They know the tricks to it, right? An ideal meal consists of 85% plants and 15% animals. Today, we are doing it the other way around. Today, when you sit on a table, 1 vegetable, 4 meat. Right? Or 3 meat. So the percentage is outright already. And on top of that, the vegetable is cooked. If you go to a Japanese restaurant, a lot of raw, fresh vegetables. Vietnamese homes, Thai homes, Malay homes, a lot of ulam. That's what you want. Okay? White rice is dead food. When I read this, I said, shit, my favorite food, you know, I eat full sometimes, you know, that day. So my favorite food is dead food, he says. Right? And I think we know why. It's polished. There's no, you know, when you take a rice grain, the outside is actually where everything is. It's just like your grape skin. Just like any of the skin, just below that is where all the vitamin is. You throw the skin away, you might as well throw the food away. Right? The same thing with rice. When you polish off the cool stuff, that is yucky. But it's actually the cool stuff, then you eat the big part of it. Why carnivores eat herbivores? I already told you that, right? Because they need the calcium, but they don't get it from the grass. People, I don't eat grass, I eat you. If you throw the white rice, they polish it. Those days, olden days, they bleach it. There was a bleaching effect, but not anymore because a lot of people complain about it. So they don't bleach it anymore. So what they do is they polish it. It's like running it through sandpaper, you know. After it comes out just white. And then sometimes, I don't know if you've heard about it, there's this machine that you can put rice in, and then you will further grind it until only the tip of it, the tip part of the rice is actually the one that has the minerals and everything. It's like a small little white cake on the top. You know? So when they do the polishing, sometimes that takes off, so you're eating nothing. See, it's like eating an apple. Sagawa, there's a Sagawa machine that does that. It takes rice.
Unpolished rice, you throw all the whole thing in there, and then you polish it just nice that you still have that.
Keep.
Yeah, that content. That's the most important content inside the rice.
Yeah, you
And
can go
then
and
those people who manufacture this thing will collect the polished part, right? All the little brown things, kept it up and say, here, buy 15 meat complex now, $50. So you see.
very weird, huh? They
nothing is
polish the
wasted.
rice, they save it and make it into supplements for you, and then you buy the part that they don't want, and you call it rice to eat. It's kind of weird. B complex, vitamin D, vitamin E is all in the husk that they polish and throw away, or rather keep for other businesses, right? So the carnivores eat herbivores, again you can read it, it talks about the animal kingdom, and it makes a lot of sense. Look at the giraffe. They said if you want big strong muscles, eat protein, eat meat. The giraffe, the elephant, how big are they? Do they eat meat? Where do they get protein from? Look at all the biggest animals on the planet. They are all herb eating. Dinosaurs were all herb eating, most of them. I mean, the largest dinosaurs. I mean, look at the Brontosaurus and all. They're all herb eating animals, right? So he's saying that you don't have to be a carnivore to be faster, stronger, biggest. Why humans have 32 teeth? My teacher in Malay taught me when you have 32 teeth, you should chew at least 32 times. When I was young, he taught me that. I'm teaching one for each tooth. It doesn't make up. But he says you should chew as long as 75 times. You can follow him lah. If I eat with him, I probably get very frustrated lah. You know, it take 2 hours for his meal. I'll finish in 10 minutes. But he says if you chew enough, then your digestion doesn't have to work so hard. A lot of us lazy out here, inside work overtime. I think I explained this in the last one of my demos. I said, do you know how much energy is used by your body to process the thing you put it in? When I eat, especially if I eat curries and herbs, I sweat like hell. My body temperature would rise. You can put me in an aircon room, I'll still sweat. She says, you know, it's like wearing a crown of beads here. I sweat until there's crown of beads around me. You know, it's a lot of energy you use to eat and process food. So when you chew well and moderation of good, why chewing and well and moderation of good health is important? Because when you chew properly, your body is working less. You eat within a good proportion. You don't overeat. I know it's hard. Very hard for me to eat one plate of rice when there's 7 different dishes on the table, because my habit is I eat one bowl of rice with one dish. So if there's 12 dishes, mati. I eat 12 bowls of rice. Okay? You cannot stay healthy by eating food that tastes awful. He says also that. While he's telling you all these things, don't go and eat those food that you go, it's terrible. Because he says your emotional build-up also is important. You must be happy with what you eat. If you're going to be sad all the time, you're going to be stressed, none of this is going to help you also. Which is true. I mean, would you eat when you're angry? When you're really angry, can you eat? No, you snack. You don't eat a real meal. Can you sit down to a table, everybody eating, and eat when you're angry, when you're upset? Can't. I'll sit down there and eat like, wow, it's very hard to swallow, you know. Although I'm a rice eater, very hard to swallow. Because your emotions affect your whole body. And your whole body is a good balance of enzymes dancing in harmony. That's what he says, right? So you have to be in a good state of mind. So eat food that makes you happy also. But if it's too acidic or too bad for your body, like chocolate, reduce the intake. Okay? Now it says the habits of the rich and healthy. It says majority of diseases are caused by habit rather than hereditary. Okay, yes. I saw this in the tech video once. It says your cells, your gene, is only 5% of you. The other 95% is about how you live your life. Okay. The other one is somebody said, a pastor said, your gene is the loaded gun. How you live your life is when you pull the trigger. So because he says all of these diseases are caused because of our habits. Yes, because of our hereditary, we have a 5% chance of getting that or 10% chance of getting that. Now because of our habit, we have increased that to 95%. Okay? Habits rewrites your genes. This part here really took me out to planet Mars. I don't know how you will rewrite your genes, but he believes that by cutting out dairy, you reduce yourself with all the problems that dairy gives to people. By reducing protein, the meat protein, and go to healthier protein, your genes are supposed to behave in that manner. Now they're getting all the good loving it gets, you tend to behave. So like how Kangen revitalize you? This thing can help your body revitalize. Because Kangen and water only takes care of one portion of it, the water and the hydration portion. What you eat still needs to change. So if you look at Peter Fleming, when he was just drinking Kangen water, he lost about 5 kilos. But when he changed his habit to a diet that was heavy in juicing, he lost 15 kilos. Amazing. Right? And I believe that because I drank Kangen water for 3 years already now. The first 2 years, I changed nothing except my water. No more hangovers, no more headaches, no more reflux, no more that. But I was, you see me 2 years ago, my face is round. Now people tell me I look more like a human being. I don't know what you meant the last time. But then, when you reduce your intake of food, you naturally lose that weight. Because there's not too much build-up of toxins in your body. Kangen water can remove it fast. But if you are working as hard as Kangen water to put it back in your body, you are negating the effect of Kangen water. Okay? The worst lifestyle habits are alcohol and tobacco. I agree. That's why on the 1st of July, I announced to the world I quit drinking, but then once in a while I still drink one glass with her, that kind of thing. But cutting out alcohol is also good. Tobacco is very bad for the body, right? Habit that can cure sleep apnea syndrome. You see, if you've got a habit, he dictates it in his book. You follow the habit, you will not have sleep apnea syndrome. We call it sleep apnea, you cannot sleep. Sleep apnea is where you sleep and it's a situation where you stop breathing. It's unnatural sleep situation, which is actually you are asleep but you're not getting proper sleep. So it looks like you had an 8-hour sleep, right? But you wake up feeling more tired than you were before. So sleep apnea happens to a lot of people. And it's actually based on habits that we have when we eat and in our lifestyle. He believes that. Because he said he had that and then now he no longer has it. Drink water 1 hour before meal. So this is, hey, it's Kangen water, we said, right? The Americans also believe that if you drink cold water, it can help reduce your weight. The analysis behind this book, the liver cleansing diet, you say if you want to lose weight, drinking some cold water will help. Why? Your body will have to burn energy to heat that water up to your body temperature before you can use it. By that one fact of usage, you burn up energy, you burn up kilojoules, you burn up calories. TCM says drink warm water, yes, because you don't want to put too much stress and effort on your body. Right? Most doctors, TCM tell you don't drink cold water because it puts a lot of stress on your body. Right? If you are healthy, there's one page on this book here that talks about